Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast brought to you by Velocity Payments. Today I have a great guest, Marla Carrico from Denton, Texas. Marla, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. Glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So you're a very special lady. You're, been in business since what, 2002, 20 something, 20 plus years. You
That's
own,
right.
you, you own your own brokerage, have about 5 agents out there. Tell us, let's go back all the way to the beginning. How'd you get started in real estate in 2002? What'd you do before that?
I taught school for 7 years. Loved it. Loved the kids. English
English
teacher.
teacher.
And then stayed home with our daughter. We had our daughter. Stayed home with her for 7 years. And then my mom was a independent real estate broker, and she had invited me to come join her. She's like, "Hey, I could use your help. Come join me." And so I was like, "Okay, I'll give that a try," and loved it. Fell in love with it and just started growing my business after that. And then in 2014, she was ready to retire. And so I opened my own brokerage at that time.
Was she a broker also?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Did you get to inherit all her stuff and just take everything over, or?
No, because I came in 2002, she already had like somebody in place that was kind of stepping in behind her. And
Yeah.
so that was fine. Like I was very happy just to learn what I learned and then was glad to open my own at the right time. So
Why is it that teachers make the best realtors? Some of my top tier realtors are ex-teachers. There's a lot of teachers that come into this business and become
Well, you're
very,
really
very
sweet to ask that. And I think the thing is, you're still doing really what you love, which is helping people.
yeah. Well, and I think the big thing is this: education, teaching. You're still
Yeah,
teaching, it's in a different
a
field.
hundred percent.
Instead of teaching, I mean, again, real estate is the largest transactions for a lot of people, and if you're anything like most realtors, a big portion of your transactions are first-time home buyers, right? So
Yeah.
first-time home buyers don't they don't know anything. You got to hold their hand throughout the entire process, make sure they understand everything. And the good agents like you, they do that. They fully educate them. And the bad ones, you know, unfortunately, there's some that don't fully educate these first-time home buyers. You take it for granted, looking for certain things. If you never own a house, you don't know what to look for or negotiate. Or that's where they depend on you to help them out.
Well, and David, that's a good point. And I think you have to have a philosophy of real estate. And it's either transactional, whether someone is sort of a customer and you do a transaction and then it's complete and you move on to your next customer, or you can see it as relational. So if you're building a relationship, then you're not just like taking care of a customer, you are building a relationship with someone and helping them and educating them and making sure it's smooth and pleasant and an enjoyable process, because you don't really just want to help that one person. You really want to help their friends and family and be somebody that's their go-to like information hub, not
Right.
just a once and done.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one and done, those are the rocket mortgages of the world, the call center places and stuff like that. Real estate is a transactional business,
Yeah.
the average person has about 3 houses in their lifetime, so if you do it right, not only do you get, 2 other transactions, but you get their friends, families, and everything else,
But
you're,
when
you're,
but the kind of experience, David, that you get when someone refers you, like
Mhm.
they trust you and they pass you somebody that they care about. And then you're excited to work with someone who's excited to work with you. And then it's fun instead
Yes.
of like someone that wants to snap their fingers at you like you're a, clerk in a shop and they're like, do this, or it's just a very different experience when it's transactional.
Well, and
Yeah.
I believe most people I talk to in real estate love what they do. They
Yeah.
have to love it because
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, people think that we are wealthy beyond words, that we take vacations and always taking time off and do what we want.
I've heard
What,
of those things, but I'm not sure what they are.
but what they don't understand is in real estate business, whether you're mortgages or realtor or whatever, you work 7 days a week. Your phone never turns off. You go on vacation, it's on. There is no time. Now, you do have the convenience if I want to leave at 1 o'clock, I schedule my time to leave at 1 o'clock. I make my own schedule, but there is no turning it off But at the same time, I also talk to people that are in real estate and there's no retirement. I don't know anybody that retires. I'll share you a great story.
Yeah.
One of my best agent is in Georgia. She's 85 years old and can no longer drive herself. So her husband drives her. Her daughter is a broker. You know, she's in her 60s. Um, and I always joke around, and her name is Paige. And I was like, Paige, why are you still do? She goes, because I love it. She goes,
Yeah.
now she's not even doing it for the money. Like she does it for 1% because it's gotten to a point now where she's dealing with great grandkids of her original buyers and stuff like that. She goes, I just can't tell them no because they're like family, you
Yeah.
know. They're just
Yeah. See, that's
back
well,
to the
that's what we were
relationship part of it.
talking about. It's the relationship. Like
Yeah,
she's all in it for the relationship. It's not just a transaction for her. It's about the referrals and the relationships and helping people she cares about solve a problem that they have, which is a
yeah,
real estate problem, and it's a joyful thing.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you're married. I think you have one daughter. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what does your husband do?
He is a commercial sales rep for Bedrosian's Tile and Stone, and they do sell to the public, but a lot of what they do is sell to like schools, hospitals, businesses, builders. So if they need to come in and have a granite, quartz, tile, then they'll consult with Bedrosians and order from them.
That's awesome. So
Yep.
let's talk about when you started in real estate. Did you just come out of the gates on fire? Did it take a couple years to learn the business? Let's talk about that. So kind of talk to how new agents today compared to when you
Yeah.
started. You know,
Well, it's a good question. And I tell all new agents it takes about 2 years to crank the handle on your business. So there's no fast path that I know of. And people talk, David, about buying leads and all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the conversion rate on that, most of those are 3% or less. So you're just not going to really grow a business from doing that. And the clients that you get from that are going to be very transactional. So I just had to learn about working by referral. And in 2008, I came across Buffini and Company, which I'm a big fan of, have been coached by them since 2008. Um, and that that program really teaches you how to stay in touch with your clients, how to keep in front of them in a way that is pleasant and helpful to them, and how to learn to ask for referrals. Because if you haven't been in that kind of business before, it feels awkward. Nobody wants to feel like the multi-level marketing person. Like you don't want to have the ick.
right.
But you have to learn when you're in real estate business and you're asking for the referral, like you're offering to help people in the same great way you're helping them right now. And it makes sense to them and it's not awkward, but you just have to learn how to do that and establish yourself as someone who's ready, willing, and able to help somebody with real estate transaction.
Let's talk about that for a second. So do you actually call your past client database?
Oh, yeah, I have a whole locked in database. They get a newsletter from me every month. And then I do two big client events every year, and then some like fun, smaller things throughout the year to just show my appreciation to them, and let them feel that connection that we have. That we're, they're still on my mind. I'm trying to make sure I'm still in their mind, because there was a great video that I saw, David, that you would love, and it was an agent, and he was on a public street asking people, "How was your last transaction? How was your last real estate transaction?" And they said, "Oh, it was great. We really liked our agent. Everything went great." And then he says, "Would you refer him or her if you knew someone that needed a realtor?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And then he said, "What was your agent's name?" And most of them were like, "Hmm." And that's where that system really teaches you, don't let your loved clients get to the place where they can't remember your name because they hadn't heard from you. Keep your relationship fresh with them.
It's funny you say that, and I'll share with you. I think the stat was like 80% of most transactions say that they would refer their agent. But guess how many actually refer their agents? Less than 20%.
Yeah.
I
The
think it's
old
like,
Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Yeah.
yep, exactly. So it goes back to the reason why I bring that up is because we're in a coaching program, being in the mortgage business.
Hmm.
Part of our coaching program, and I never did this before, but I have been for the last probably 3 years. We reach out to our past client database 4 times a year. We
Yeah.
actually pick up the phone and call them,
Hmm.
and just to be top of mind,
Yeah.
and it's really just it's that right there. One thing you don't want to do is call them and hey, I wish you would have called me last month. I just did a transaction, or I did, or whatever. That doesn't happen to my team anymore because
That's good.
of the contacts. And I talk to top realtors across the country, and you'd be amazed how many of them never contact their database. They send out they send out the mailers, but they never actually touch belly to belly or communicate
Hmm.
with them or whatever. They do other sources, but there's something to be said about that. I think
Yeah.
in my business, we have about a 1%, 1 to 3. So for every 100 people in my past client database, 1 to 3 of them will convert to something every single month, whether it's a
Yeah.
referral, they're doing a refinance, a transaction, something. But I mean, when you think about those numbers, that's just, it transitions to the same things for realtors also. So,
Well, then
uh,
that's a healthy business.
yes, it's a retirement
That
business. Yeah,
because I'll remind new agents, you don't need to help everybody in the universe. You just need to help the people in your sphere of influence. Those are your people. They love you already. They think you're wonderful already. They're glad to work with you. You just need their referrals, and that's a good, strong, healthy business with the pipeline.
absolutely. So tell me about 2008 since you went through it. I wasn't in the business in 2008. Are we anywhere close to what that was? Because when they say 2024 was the worst year in 20 years in real estate, I don't believe everybody that tells me it said that 2024 was not worse than 2008. But all the data says it is.
It that I remember it, and it was hard. But David, you'll laugh because I was too new into the business to understand that it was hard.
Right.
Like it was just like, oh, this is how real estate is this year. And looking back, I was like, okay, that was hard. But the interesting thing is, something great came from that. Is I started also doing property management because I do have a brisk property management business, and that was born at that time because I would have people that needed to sell their home, but they couldn't. Like it was still valued at what they bought it for several years back. And they're like, Marla, what do we do? And I said, let me lease it out for you. We'll at least cover your mortgage, lawn care, insurance, taxes. And then when the market recovers, maybe we sell it. Maybe you like being a landlord. We'll see.
Right.
And then my property management business grew from there.
Really? So you've
Yeah.
had a property management business since 2008, and it's a very
Yeah.
sounds like it's a very healthy property management
Yeah.
business. You
Definitely.
got you got your hands in everything.
Yeah.
Well, let's fast forward it to you became a broker in what year?
2014.
Okay. 2014, you became a broker,
Mm-hmm.
and you hired agents immediately underneath you, or you went a couple years just you?
It's one of those things like I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do about that. And so I've never really actively pursued agents, but I've had agents come to me and say, "Hey, we're interested in working with you. What do you think?" And I'm always happy to have that conversation with an agent. And some I've trained, and then they've like moved on to other industries or decided real estate wasn't for them after all, or have moved on to different brokerages, just different things over the years. But there's a lot of responsibility as a broker when you've got an agent working with you to train them and help them understand all the finessing of the different contracts. So um, it's again with that teacher tool belt, like you're really coaching them through how to be successful in the business as well as helping them do a good job on their paperwork.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So fast forward to now, we know you have 5 agents underneath you. Are you looking to grow more, or is that where you want to be? How do you look at your brokerage and growing?
I always have a thought in my mind of quality. Like I'm never one to really jump on a quantity bandwagon
Hmm.
because that can come with difficulties. So, like, I'm always interested in an agent that wants to consider joining my team. I'm always interested, but I do always like to make sure it'll be a good fit for them, also for me, where we're a big help to each other.
Right. And and for those out there that don't know, you're also a producing broker. You're
Yeah.
actually in the throes of it. Would you ever do you see yourself ever stopping that, or do you think you'll always be part of the
I
transaction?
don't. I was thinking about your story about your friend Paige, and when you love it, like, it's not something you need to get away from, or not something you're eager to break away from. And
Right.
that's why I think working 7 days a week, it sounds terrible, but what you're really doing is taking a phone call from someone you love and care about to help them decide what repairs they should ask for on this house, or if they should make an offer or not. And if they should, then how much is an appropriate starting, like, you're helping people and you love it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like work. And to me, retiring would be um just like a waste of what I know how to do. Just put that on the shelf for no reason. And then I would really miss it. I would miss the people and miss helping clients, you know, knock it out of the park on their transactions.
That's awesome. So I know you have a very healthy business. Is there anything that keeps you up at night about your business?
Really, the thing that like, I've always got a project in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just say we've arrived and we're done. So right now our big push is we're fine tuning all of our job descriptions of the staff, and we're really fine tuning our standard operating procedures. Because I'm sure you do this too, David, but my word for the year is consistent. So I'm really wanting all of my clients to get this really good, consistent, high quality, high touch, 5-star experience that they couldn't get anywhere else. And so that's been our big push this year. So um, I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night, but I'm very excited to be working on that and thrilled with the progress that we're making this year.
What's something you're passionate about that not many people know?
Um, Gosh, well, I could think of lots of silly things. We have 4 dogs, which is shameful to admit because that's way too many. But
That's a passion.
they've all been little rescue dogs, and so we love them and think they're hilarious and adorable. So, and then I go to Denton Bible Church and love that place. Been going there since 1985, and I coordinate a Bible study group called Mom's Group. And so we meet the ladies. It's usually young moms with little kids. So we meet on two Tuesdays a month for the stay home moms, and then the working moms. We meet Wednesday night a couple of times a month. And we go through a Bible study, and they have some fellowship time, and we pray for each other. And it's just, that's something I love doing.
I love it. In fact, I love that you talk about God and Jesus. They say a lot of times, don't bring that into your business. I do. That's my choice.
It's who I am. I can't not.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So
Hmm.
I just, I say it. If it offends you, then you're not my tribe.
And that's okay. And
Yeah.
I'll tell new agents that too. You don't have to be everybody's agent,
Well,
because, like, if somebody wants a different style or whatever, they should have that. I just finished reading that book, Let Them by Mel Robbins. Have you read
hmm
that yet?
I have.
I thought it was great. I don't agree with everything Mel Robbins says, but I love her and think she's fabulous. And I thought that book was so great as a reminder that it's okay if everybody doesn't choose you. Like, that's okay. And it's not something you need to try to fix or repair. It's just okay. It's okay to let people have whatever it is they want to pursue. It's not, doesn't have to be a personal thing.
Well, and to tag along with that, if you talk to 100 people, only 25% of those people are your tribe or the people you want to
Yeah.
do business with. If you start getting outside of your tribe, you you there's times I know there's been past times that I didn't want to do a transaction and I did it anyways, and now I have the luxury of getting to pick. So if you just
Yeah.
stick to your tribe, one thing we say here a lot is I'm looking for like-minded and like-hearted people. Uh,
Hmm.
kind of not only do we talk about my religion and my faith in God and the things I do, I want to work with other people that have that same mindset or the
Right.
same me or whatever. It just makes I know I can grow more and I can do more for them. If we don't have that,
Right.
there's someone else out there that is more like mine, like hard with them, and maybe a better thing. So with that being
That's
said,
right.
as long as you know that 25%, that's who you're going after, and if don't try to get 100% of people because you're not going to be 100% for everybody. No one is.
Well, and I heard one speaker say you can either be a flashlight beam or a laser beam. And when you try to get too diffused, you're like a flashlight beam and you don't have that much impact. But if you'll shrink it down and stay focused, then you're more like a laser beam, and a laser beam can cut through things. So that
Absolutely.
you want to be really effective, which means sometimes you have to get really focused on who you're helping.
Yep. Yep. So let's talk about 2025. March is tomorrow. We're 3 months in. First quarter is
Crazy.
almost over. What do you think about this industry and what's going on with it? What's your prediction for 2025 in real
I
estate?
have seen a lot of confidence in the market this year,
Mhm.
probably more than I've ever seen. Maybe 2021 at the end of that big run was as busy, but I feel like I'm as busy this first of year as I've ever been, which is wonderful. I've seen a lot of buyers come off the bench. I've seen a lot of people get ready to put their house on the market confidently. So I'm very pleased and thankful to see that much confidence in the market because the in 2024 when the interest rates really got up there,
Yeah, the reshape.
I think it just pushed a lot of people to the bench. They just like, I'm going to tap out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what happens. And then now it seems like this year people are so much more comfortable with, okay, these are the rates. This is what it's going to be. We'll be all right. I can go ahead and sell this house that I love with a great rate because we've had another baby, or my husband needs to take a job, or I'm going back to school, or whatever the situation is that has caused a family or an individual to move. They just feel more comfortable and more confident going ahead and pulling the trigger on that and doing the transaction. So
So
it's
let's talk
been a
about
fantastic year so far.
Yeah, let's talk about listings. Even though they're down historically for the last 10 years, it's up from what it's been in the last couple of years, right? But we are short. If you look at the cycle of the last 10-year cycle, there is a low inventory. But like I said, there's more than there's ever been in the last couple of years. With that being said,
Well, I'm
this
doing my part to fix that.
yeah, listings are sitting. So,
Mm-hmm.
I tell everybody, part of our job is to educate. The
Mm-hmm.
days of putting your house on the market and you get an offer by the first weekend, it's almost gone. Average listings between 60 to 120 days right now, and that's nationwide. Some areas are worse than that. So those are things you got to tell because if they're
Yeah.
thinking of 2020, 2021, 50
Uh-huh.
offers,
I
before you
know,
even look.
and it's yeah. And I still have some buyers that think they need to offer above asking. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that anymore. Like we can look at the comps and make a reasonable offer, but you don't have to do above asking price anymore.
And let's talk about that when you're representing buyers. I think it's a buyer's market. Almost every transaction that I'm completing right now comes with some seller concession. Every
Mm-hmm.
single one.
Yeah.
So you are getting seller concessions sometimes up to the maximum amount.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out there sitting on the fence or whatever the case is, now is the time to buy because if interest rates they say are going to go down, if interest rates go down, there's going to be more people hitting the market. I think I saw a stat that said for every 1 point that interest rate drops, 1.5 million people will hit the market. Now they qualify and ready to buy. You don't want to compete with that kind of people out there. You could buy the house now, and when the interest rate does drop, just refinance it.
Refi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you probably have used this line or heard it that you can like marry the house, but you date the rate.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to change up that rate if you get a better opportunity. So you're committed to the house once you buy it, but you can definitely change that interest rate if it comes down.
Yeah. Well, I know you had a hectic day, and it's because we were just talking in the green room about some of the things. I can sit there and talk to you all day, but we'll definitely table this for another podcast in the future. What should we have talked about that we did talk about today, Marla?
Um, it's a really great time for investors to get into residential real estate investing. That is such a great business because you talked about there's no retirement for realtors, lenders, etc., but you can build your own retirement program investing in real estate, and then hire a good management company Like in Denton County, I'm a good one. In other counties, there's other really good ones, but it's a fabulous plan for your future to end up with retirement age, and then you've got mailbox money coming in from a paid for house. Uh, that is just something that people should be thinking about, and they're scared of it, and they shouldn't be.
Great tip. Well, Marla, if the people want to find you, and I know they do, how do they get hold of Marla if they're looking for real estate in the Denton area?
I've got a website that's easy to find. It's just Carrico and Associates Realtors, so they can jump on that. If you Google any of that name, phone number, they're all super available. And I'm never too busy for anybody's referrals, and I'm always glad to help.
Awesome. And if you're watching this live, folks, you saw that go across the lower thirds. Well, Marla, thanks for being with us today.
Sure,
And if I'm out there looking for real estate in the Denton area or need a management property management company, there's only one lady I'm calling. That's Marla
that's
Kiriko
awesome.
here.
Yeah,
So definitely give her a call, guys. She's here to help. I'm obviously she cares about her people. So give her a call. Well, I'm David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Thanks for being with us today. Have a great
thank you, David.
bye.